Hi, everyone, and welcome to OneMicNite, the podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journeys in entertainment, helping to guide, answer questions, inspire, and motivate you in life and the business. My name is Marcos Luis, and I want to thank you for joining me for another episode. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you go down, click below, subscribe, share these podcasts because they're inspirational and they'll help you navigate your way through life a little bit. Click below. My guest today, I'm very excited about. He is a musician, he's an actor, he's an all-around artist. He can play the hell out of the bass. Please welcome my friend Osei Kweku. What's up, Osei?
What's up, Marcos? Man,
how you doing?
I'm glad to be here. I'm
all right. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you for calling me, man. I know it's been a while. But you're my good friends back at the restaurant.
That's right.
Good to see you again. Good to be talking to you, seeing you.
All right, I want to start off by asking, just plain and simple, who is Osei? Who is Osei Kweku?
Oh man, that's a big one. Who is it?
Who is Osei Kweku and who is Osei Kweku?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I don't know, man. I'm just a dude who's trying to get by on the phone. That's what I mean. As long as the groove can carry me through life, then I'm going to follow it.
That's right. I hear that.
That's why I'm a man who follow the groove.
What's the groove? What's the groove? What's the groove of life?
The groove is the galvanized, rhythmatic, oscillation-operated vehicle of existential.
What? All right.
Something I came up with a while ago.
That's good. I like that.
The groove is, is forward motion and momentum.
Right. In life, in the universe.
In life and universe, and vibrations, and how they will carry us. And cycles.
Cycles, yeah. Move us forward, move us sideways, move us all around.
And it's a continuum.
Right. Where were you born? Where are you from?
Los Angeles, LA. California.
All right.
I don't know if I'm not allowed to throw up gang signs. I'm sorry.
Okay. How long have you been in New York? Is that where you are right now, LA, or you're in New York?
I'm in New York. Yeah, I'm in Bushwick.
Okay. For those of you who are listening right now, this podcast is broadcast out of New York, out of Brooklyn, New York.
I came to New York. To live in 2012. Mm-hmm. So it's been 8 years now. But I've always been bi-coastal. Like when I was young, my parents split. My dad lived in New York. My mom was in LA. So every summer, I would spend all summer in New York, and then my parents would trade holidays. So I'd spend one Christmas in New York, and then the next Thanksgiving in New York.
Wow, that's everybody's dream to have a little taste of both cities, LA and
New
York.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a city boy all around. You know, major big cities.
What's your favorite? Cali love? You got Cali love or I love New York?
I always got California. I love New York. But people ask me that all the time. Like my whole life, I've been asked that question. And the thing is, they're just different. Right. They're just different, and I love them both for different reasons. Like I don't love New York for the sun and the beach.
Right. Definitely. Not.
But I don't like. I shouldn't say I don't like, but I don't revere or appreciate LA for snow and changing weather and just overall like grind.
Right.
The other thing is I don't work when I'm in LA. When I'm in LA, I'm on vacation. I'm visiting my family. I'm just staying with family stuff for the time being, visiting a couple of friends. I've never worked.
Why is that? Is that by choice, or is that just how it works out?
Mostly how it works out.
Okay.
Because I came out here for school. So obviously then I would just go to LA and I'd be home for Christmas break or summer break. And when I was in school, I wasn't getting work. I was working a little bit in the city, because the network I built there, but I hadn't built a network out in LA. So yeah, it's really more of a thing that's just when I don't have a network out there really.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't. Like if I were to move out to LA right now, I'd have a place to start. I got friends I can call.
Right.
Place to start, but mostly my network of working and musicians that I work with is here in New York.
Do you feel like that's because you went to school here and that's
Yeah,
kind of where you started your formative playing and
exactly.
gigging and stuff like that? Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yeah. How's the New York life embraced you? What do you feel about the New York life, music life, and artist scene? I guess because you're all around artist. You do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mostly play bass and I'm a rapper. Um, how has it embraced me?
Hmm.
It's a good question. It definitely pushes a lot. Like when I go out to jam sessions, like the lesson, or there's a great one, Layer Rhythm, that used to happen at New Blue,
Hmm.
which was it was this woman, Simone Acosta. She plays keys and she has a whole organization called That House Party though, which is dope, right? And it's all about the entire experience of, I don't want to say art, but just like stuff, like it's all music. Like there's music, and they have dance. Like the dance is never separated from the musicians, or never separated from the comedians
Hmm.
and the actors. You know what I'm saying? It's all one big party like that. Um, so I'm just saying all this to say that, like, when I go to things like that, these jam sessions, these musicians are like elite, and the things the music that happens. Like I was blown away. I've never really experienced that before. While I was in college, and so before that, I never experienced anything like that. So just seeing musicians on that level very much pushes you to be like, oh man, if I'm going to be here, like, you got to earn your spot. You really got to earn your spot, and they'll let you, like, the city will let you know when you don't have it yet.
Oh yeah, definitely,
You know,
definitely.
either somebody will say it, or somebody will be like, yo, let me get up there. Somebody will be like, yo, take a break. Or you just don't get the call anymore. You know, the city will let you know. So it's like you gotta step up and be where everybody else is at. Not do what they're doing, but you gotta be where they're at.
Right.
You know.
Interesting. How did this all happen for you? I mean, how did it all fall in your lap? You said you came from an artistic family. So tell us a little bit about your home life, your growing up. You have parents that are both in the
Yeah, I
arts.
came from a very artistic family. My
Mm-hmm.
dad is an actor. My mom, growing up, I'll say she is a dancer. She doesn't dance anymore.
Hmm.
Physically, she can't really dance anymore. But of course, she's always got the mind and the spirit
Right.
and the
Yeah.
heart of a dancer.
Once an artist, always an artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Just
Yeah.
because you
For
can't
sure.
physically do it doesn't mean you're not that anymore.
Yep.
Or weren't before you could physically do it. But yeah, my mom was a dancer. Her father is a painter and a sculptor. Um, his his actually, my mom's mom was also a visual painter. Um, and then my grandfather's second wife was a poet and
Wow.
a bass player at one time in her life. Um, yeah, so I come from arts,
Wow, man.
all around spectrum.
How did you get on the bass? How
How
was
I got on the
how was the music the choice for you?
okay, so I think, like, I know my mom's mom played piano. I never saw her play piano though.
Hmm.
I think I only heard stories of that though, right? But I remember like when I was really young, like six, um, like 5 and 6, I would like be in the bath, and I would for some reason have visions of me being a concert pianist. Doing the whole thing with the tailcoat,
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
puffing it out and being in front, and I would be and I just had these, so I told my mom I want to play piano, and I started playing piano when I was about 7, and I got bored of it when I was 9. Um, but actually, I was and a couple things happened. But when I was about 9, I was still taking lessons. I had this one piano teacher who eventually he came out to my mom after a lesson and said, he's not practicing anything I give him. You need to get him on the bass, because every week he doesn't practice what I give him, and he just comes in with a new bass line.
That's interesting. Wow.
And also, so I think soon after that, I had quit playing piano, and I was looking for something else to play. I thought I wanted to play guitar because guitar is cool and girls like dudes who play guitar.
Right. Yeah.
And my friend had already been playing guitar, and he had just switched to playing bass on a recommendation from his teacher. Like my friend's teacher put together a band of his students, and so my friend was playing bass, right? And so I was thinking of switching instruments. I saw him play this thing that looks like a guitar, but it's not. And I didn't know what a bass was at that time. You know, this is about 9, 10 years old. I didn't know what a bass was. I'm seeing him play it. And it's kind of like a guitar, but it's only got 4 strings. And it's this, I don't know what, and I kind of got enamored with it, so I picked it up too to be like Damien. And I just fell in love with it. I mean, he showed me a couple bass lines. He showed me, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream and like Paranoid. And at the time I was listening to like Black Sabbath. And I think Black Sabbath was actually the one that really got me to notice what bass was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was just enamored with this thing that was doing all this stuff kind of low key though. Like, the guitar is obviously in front.
Right.
Like there's the singer who's the front man. The guitar is what everybody pays attention to. And even the drums are, loud, and their presence is known, obviously. And I just happened to notice this other thing that was, the bass was going a different direction than the guitar, and I was like, it's just so low key in the cut, but also doing all this crazy stuff, and everyone's relying on it too. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to see what that's about. And then after that, I couldn't listen to a song, and that was the first thing that I noticed. Whatever the bass was doing, I just heard that first.
That's interesting because I think, like you said, the drums, like people subconsciously hear the drums, or you recognize the drums right away. But the bass is one of those things that you're grooving to, but you don't even realize it,
right?
Until you recognize what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my sister recently said that to me too. Like a long time ago, I pointed out a bass line or something, and it was like a couple months ago. She called me. She was like, "Oh, you're so annoying. Now I can only hear the bass."
That's funny.
She told me that all I can hear is the bass. I'm like, well, it's powerful like that. That's what it holds a lot of weight.
That's really funny. Yeah, I remember too because I started out playing in junior high school, but I started playing woodwind instruments. I started out playing the flute. I don't know how the flute came about. Never knew anything about the flute. Picked it up, and I was like,
yeah.
Just brilliant. I can still pick it up today and play it. Then
sometimes it happens like that.
It happens, right? Then I moved to clarinet. Then I moved to saxophone.
I was gonna say I remember clarinet.
Yep, saxophone, and I played alto sax. I played tenor sax, and then in 8th grade, I had this new jazz teacher came in. He was a brother. He came in on the scene. He was like, "Yo, man, you should be playing the bass." He was funky. I was like, "All right, I'll, why not?" Right. So the school actually issued instruments to the students.
Right.
So he got me a bass. First week I went home, I took it home, and I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, all right.
Right.
Next thing you know, I was in the all-city band. I was killing it on the bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come you never sat in OneMicNite?
I don't know, man. I just never played it. After that, I never played anymore. I mean,
okay. Yeah.
But definitely,
I kind of went through the same thing. Like in middle school, when I went into 6th grade, I went to this new school. And it was new. Like it was a school that was around for only 4 years. It was this new, like, progressive experimental charter school. Mm-hmm. Can I cuss on here? I don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, stupid ass organization. What they had done was it was called Renaissance Arts Academy. Maybe I shouldn't get myself on blast here, but either way. They're trying to be the rebirth, the new way of teaching and stuff like that. What they had done is they bought this old vintage clothing store and turned that into a school. So there were no classrooms. There were no rooms at all. It was one big, like, basically a warehouse. Like if you had gone to Men's Warehouse and rented that out, right? And all they did was have tables where different classes were happening. There were no grades. In any sense of the word. There was no 9th, 10th, 11th, 7th, 8th grade. No. I was 6th grade in class with 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds. And they didn't give A's, B's, C's, or none of that. You wrote a whole lot of essays. I don't know what I don't know, but I remember a lot of people had trouble going to college after that.
That's interesting. Actually, now that you mention it, that's an interesting concept, because if you have kids that are, younger and kids that are older in school, the younger kids can learn from the older kids. I mean, you have an, instant mentorship program if they're allowing you to be in the same classroom with them. That's an
Yeah,
interesting concept.
yeah, maybe if you cultivate that, but
Right.
if you just do that and let kids run wild, like
Oh yeah. No,
then like there
that
was
ain't
some
it.
wild kids in that school. Like there was okay, let me finish my 1 point first and then I'll get to how the school was. I also want to say that so they made you, once you enter the school, they made you choose violin, viola, cello, or drama. You'd be a drama student. I chose cello. They also made you take ballet and karate, and I was in the Nutcracker in 6th grade. Um, so I chose cello. I played the cello, and that was awesome for a year. And I was supposed to go into the school orchestra in 7th grade, but I left the school. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Where it's like I did love playing cello, and I kind of wish I had stuck with it.
But such is life.
Such is life. But either way, back to school. That school was hilarious. Man, the school was like I was in trouble all the time, and like whenever you were late to like for your first class,
Yeah.
you had to sit in the middle of the school, like on the rug, like in the middle of the room of school, like just like sit there for the hour. Yeah, and then
Wow,
until the next class comes. There was this one kid, man, who like if you got in trouble too many times, they had your mom or a parent come in and spend the whole day with you, go with you to every class, right? This one kid was so bad. His mom his mom came in with him one day, was in every class, and this fool took a safety, it was like in math class, and took a safety pin and pierced his ear, and there was just blood spilling.
no, no, no,
And his mom's
no.
like helping him. She's like helping him dab it up. She didn't care.
Wow.
So he got in trouble so many times that after I left the school, I heard that he got expelled for peeing on somebody in the bathroom.
Discipline
I'm
problems.
trying to illustrate the kind of stuff that happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Man.
There was one kid I remember, Clayton, who was like one of like kind of the bigger kids. He wasn't that big. He was just like tall and like kind of tough. And this small kid, this short kid with just bad mouth. One time, like I think again I didn't see it either, but he just like punched him in the jaw, and straight up like his jaw came dislocated, and this fool Clayton just put it right back in.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I never experienced any of that in my schools.
Yeah. So it was kind of a wild school.
That's crazy.
He did not know how to wrangle those kids.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing during this pandemic time? You've been keeping busy, you've been keeping active, creative? Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm watching TV, playing video games. No, I'm kidding. No, I have been, but no, it's this quarantine has been interesting.
How so?
It's been hard. It's been like frustrating, and it's been like the story of the lion that was caged all his life, and the first time it got free, it ran and ran and ran and ran, and it died.
Right.
Didn't know how to stop. He didn't know he was supposed to stop, and he just wore himself out and he died. When the quarantine first hit, I was working at a bar, and they said we have to shut down, but we're probably gonna come back April 12th. So I was like, cool, good month off. This is finally. I have time. I can't work. I'm supposed to not work. So this is good. I'm gonna get all the way in this album that's been in my mind the whole time. I'm finally get down to writing and recording and everything. And the first month, I have like just recently gotten into salsa and a lot of Puerto Rican, the New Rican scene, and the Puerto Rican guys and Afro-Cuban musics. And so I was transcribing a lot. That first month, I felt like I was 15 again.
Right.
Like I was just me in front of my computer. I wasn't learning for gigs. I wasn't, I was just learning my favorite songs, just whatever song I was like, yeah, I was getting into it. It was great. And I've gotten better at playing that and at learning those musics and exploring that, and I have gotten better. But also, it kind of it's hard to explain, but I was not writing as nearly as much as I thought I would. And I would start writing some things, and I'd be like, oh, I don't like it, or I don't know where to go, and it'd be like, oh, well, I have time. That's the thing. It's like I got too much time.
Wow, that's
Like,
interesting.
oh, it's fine. I can work on it at any time. I can come back to it. I can let the inspiration hit. I can, but so it's been tough. It's been like strangely tough. It's like I don't know why I'm not getting to this thing that I want to do. But at the same time, it's like and then some days it'll be like, boom, the energy hits, and I'm like down in the basement, and I'm playing all this stuff and exploring,
right.
And I'm writing. So yeah, it's been very, very, very up and down. But I will say this: it's been great for my input.
What do you mean?
I've learning. I've been reading.
Right.
I've been doing research. Like right now, what I'm working on, I'm doing research on the music, the evolution of the music of the African diaspora.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us who come from the ancestors who came here by the boat. I just want to learn more about. It just hit me that there are more Black people in South America than there are in mainland America, and something I didn't really put together till these past few months.
Do you feel like this whole quarantine situation has sort of awakened that movement in general, the Black Lives Matter movement, awareness of Black culture, and it's turned on, a lot more people to that situation?
Maybe. I think I saw it a little bit before quarantine happened. I saw more people talking about Afro-Latina. And I've seen that the past year. Oh, and when I mean year, I mean last March, like 2019. I've been seeing a lot more on social media, about Afro-Latina and recognizing Afro-Latinas and more so Afro-Latinas recognizing their African ancestry.
Right.
Because we all know a bunch of Dominicans who will say they're not Black, and a bunch of Puerto Ricans who will say that they're not Black,
and a lot of Cubans.
And Cubans.
Yeah.
Which
look at what's happening. Come on, look at what's happening with the elections right now. Today we're going through the elections. Who do you think in Florida is voting for Trump?
Right, it's a lot of Latinos for Trump. I know it's a lot of Latinos for Trump, which is I'm not gonna say anything. Whatever. But anyway, that just very much interested me. And so I figured that I want to learn more about African music that's outside of America and the evolution of that. And because, and I think my goal for learning all this is to connect Black people of that diaspora everywhere more, because we're disconnected. Like I said, they think they're not Black, and also I think we think they're not Black too. Like I was saying this to my mom not too long ago, that I would see like old Black women like speak Spanish and be like, oh, okay, well, she's Spanish, or whatever. I just didn't put it. For some reason, I just wouldn't, like. Clearly, she looks like me. She looks like my grandmother.
Right, sure.
Spanish means she's not Black. She's not actually Black. And I realized that's just wrong. And so I would like for more Black people in America and across the Americas to recognize each other as we are African.
Right.
And I feel like we should know more about each other's musics.
We absolutely should, and each other's culture. And I think that, I just had a psychotherapist on one of the last episodes, and he's from Guyana. And we were talking about the realization of some of the people who come from Guyana and come from countries, who had the slave trade, embark on their countries, and they come here with a dream and a hope. And then they get here and they realize, well, first you got to deal with the problem of being Black. You know what I mean? Right. Where you're from, that may not be a problem, but you're a black, you have to, you're known as you're going to be a Black American. You have to, you know what I
Right.
mean? Deal with
Right.
all the problems that Black Americans have to deal with first.
Right. Right.
So there's definitely a
Right.
connection.
You got to reconcile with you are black, or
Absolutely.
if you don't think so, they're gonna treat you like you are.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna treat you like you are. They're going, you know. So you got to figure out. I don't know. I'm not an immigrant. I don't know what that feels like.
Right. That's a real issue.
Yeah, it's just a real thing. And so yeah, it's just kind of a dream of mine that we all become more connected in that way and know more about each other's because the other thing is like in salsa and all those South American, they are, at least their music is far closer to the motherland than ours is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the clave, their awareness of the clave, their you know, bembe is all up in it, and they, I mean, and literally just from the use of like congas and bongos and percussion, you know, the rhythm never left, right? The rhythmic principles. We are, I think, in mainland America, we are definitely more disconnected than they are in South America. But we have our own clave, we have our own, you know, just the rhythm and all the rhythms and harmonic concepts are all there.
Sure.
You know, they're like inherently there in our DNA. I would love if we could turn the switch on and become more cerebrally aware of them.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you can talk about jazz, you know, which who started from the whole thing too. You know, it's a little bit different. It's based on improv, but rhythm, you know, blues.
Yeah. So I'm reading a book right now called Music of Black Americans, and it doesn't even get to jazz till like the middle of the book, or like, you know, so I'm not close to there yet. But the whole beginning of the book talks about Europeans who explored West Africa in like 1817 and 1825. All these Europeans who noticed, you know, a lot of it is improvised, and they were like amazed by it. A lot of the music is just improvised. They'll make up songs right on the spot,
right,
and call and response. What do you think? That's what I'm saying. Everything we have is ancient.
Right. Yeah.
Everything we have is ancient. You know, when you talk about so-called jazz, you know, so I'm part of an online school called the United Institute of Music Science, where we call it the music of the spirit, because improvisation is totally you. It's nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing, but I mean like it's not you taking something and playing what's you've heard before, but once you tap into the spirit and tap into your subconscious, you know, improvisation is totally what is you right now and in the moment. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we call it, the music of the spirit.
Okay.
And what we teach is that it was not born in New Orleans.
And I think that something with improv, you know, just from personal experience, once you start improving and you said it's totally you, it takes you to a whole nother, you know, realm. It's almost like a spiritual connection that you have, because you're letting the music and the rhythm and everything just take you and guide you through the music.
Exactly. When you allow yourself to be open, it's no longer your mind.
Right.
And it's entirely feelings. And that's what people feel. That's what brings connection between people. You know, is expression of feelings, because we all feel that, and then we can share the energy. When the energy is shared, like you can really feel that in the room.
Right.
Really feel that in the space. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's what art does. That's exactly what art does.
Yeah. Yep. You know, if you allow yourself to be open, which is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. You know, because humans, we are creatures of habit, right? And we're very cerebral. It's easy for us to overthink. You know, so it's not at all easy to let go. You know, let go and let God.
And let go. Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of trust.
It does.
It's hard to trust yourself.
It is.
It's hard.
And that's how we move forward. You know what I mean? That's exactly how you move forward.
Right. So yeah, we have to trust. You have to trust yourself, and trust people around you. And once that trust is there, you can feel it. I can't describe it, but
Right.
it's
And you also have to have a little confidence too, and I think relating back to what I was asking you before, what have you been doing during the quarantine time? That's what that's how this podcast came about.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? It's trusting that I have something to offer everybody else, hopefully some inspiration, hopefully some motivation, and, just offer myself and trust that I can give people something good.
That's what I'm saying. And that's
Feel
why
good.
I've like has been up and down for me this quarantine. Is like I keep battling the trust of myself,
Right. And that's a
Yeah.
real issue. I mean, I think that's something everybody battles with, you know? I think a lot of it too has to do with, man, even just living here in New York, and going back to what you were saying, you go to these artists collectives and you see these people playing, you like, man, am I good enough? Or,
Right,
and it's, trusting yourself enough that you are good enough, that you
right.
are good enough.
That
Do you ever,
that you're in this space for a reason.
right.
You're not
Exactly.
here by accident. You're not
Not
here
by
by
accident.
chance or by
Yeah.
luck. I mean, maybe a little bit of luck, but
Do you ever feel
nothing
like
more prepared for.
do you ever feel like New York itself, New York, the city, has put any pressure on you just to
Hell
exist,
yeah.
how so?
It's put pressure on me to be here to exist. Um, I mean, okay, so let's say just by a concrete thing, it's literally like taking the train,
Mhm.
right? Like you have to manage your life based around how long it takes to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And often that means I'm sometimes, planning things while I'm on the train and wait until I got service. You got to make sure that you can say yes to the gig and the rehearsal in good time. You know, so in ways like that, yeah, I think it pressures you to, or it has pressured me to very much be on top of correspondence. With people.
With people, yeah. What?
Um, and not just communication, but literally getting places, getting from one rehearsal to the next, managing your time that way,
Right.
and managing time for yourself. Because there was a point at which, like 2 years ago, I was working two jobs and like 4 or 5 different bands that rehearsed weekly. That I realized I had not made any time for me to just relax. I was working Monday through Sunday every
Yeah.
day. I made sure I was doing something, which meant I was like not eating right or not eating, in good schedules and not sleeping in good schedules. So, it definitely has taught me like it's good to chase work, it's good to get work
Yeah.
and stay connected in the network, but you have to make time for
You
yourself.
have to make time. Yeah. Yeah.
And you cannot only whatever if you're an artist, a creative, actually I think whoever right, you can't only do what you do for work, right?
Right.
I'm a musician, I can't just stay in the basement and play bass all day. I'm sure as an actor, like how do you feel as an actor? Do you feel
Right.
like
Yeah.
you just read scripts or like practice monologues?
Hell no. I mean, honestly, this quarantine time has allowed me to do more of that. I finally was able to catch up with some things. Listen, this is in this last 6 or 7 months has been the most that I've ever learned since I've been in New
Mm,
York, because
mm,
I've been able to take webinars like crazy. There's so many
mm,
free things happening. I've allowed
mm,
myself to create some things of my own, create my own content. I've allowed
mm-hmm.
myself to see some people perform that I haven't been able to see,
Right.
and I've just kept learning. Every day I get up and make myself learn. I force myself, to
Right.
learn. And it's not, I don't even want to say force. I allow myself,
Right. Right.
I need it. I
Right.
deserve it. And that's the balance that I have now,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I still have to
Yeah.
work, but you know what I mean? This has been a great time for me. It's been a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's been interesting. That's why I can't say it's been bad or it's been good or it's been, because it's not. It's so many things. It's like confusing and it's frustrating, but it's also relieving
Relieving, yeah.
and freeing. But also like I'm always worried about the next couple months. And that's what really I've gone back and forth is especially while I was still getting $600
Right.
every week,
Yeah.
was like Um, I want to be able to live in right now and be content, but I'm always worried that I just won't have income 3 months from now.
Exactly. The uncertainty of the future.
And it's like
Right.
that bothers me.
Yeah.
I like even though I've got my rent paid right now, even though I've got my rent paid for next month, I'm worried about 3 months and 4 months from now.
Right.
I don't want to have to move out because my money got too low.
Right. Well, I think we're all in the same boat on that one, because we don't know what's happening. We don't even know what's happening tonight with the elections.
Right.
And that's a lot of pressure. But the thing is whether one candidate wins or the other, we still got to get up and go to work, and we still got to function. We just have to find a different way to make it happen.
You just got
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And in the meantime, it's what do you do in the meantime? You know what I mean? And you yourself, you're talented. Focus. Start your own business, man. You know what I mean? Like, start your own thing online. Start your own.
That's what I'm trying to figure out exactly what it would look like.
Yeah.
And right now I'm focused on this album.
That's it. Right.
I'm pretty focused on this album and a couple things. Actually, I've started writing a movie too with one of my friends.
Love it.
Which is gonna be awesome.
Love it.
So
I know an actor. I know an actor.
Tell him get in touch with our agent.
I gotta. He has to send his headshot and everything.
Yeah. It's a headshot and a resume.
All right.
We'll be in touch. Have your manager call.
All right.
No, but oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say.
But yeah, I think that's what you started a script, and I think that's what this time is for. I think the universe is allowing us this time to do that stuff.
Yeah, passion projects. I've been allowing myself to be cool, like calm down and dig into the passion project.
Yeah.
Even if it's not making you money right now, dig into the passion project and go with it. Go for it. Do a whole thing. And then I'll be able to present it to the world. And we'll see what happens from there.
Right.
Yeah, but at least I'll have some practice in something. I don't know. Yeah, and another thing is I don't know. I'm just gonna do it just because it feels good right now.
That's right.
I don't know anything else. I know this, and I'm just gonna do that.
That's it. And the thing I think we have to remember is, number one, we're not in competition with anybody. Two, we don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So as long as you keep that under your belt, just do what you want to do. Put it out there. See what the response is.
Right. Right.
That's it. That's
it. Still, it's hard to say that that's just it.
It is, or it isn't.
That's it 1 minute, and then next minute I'll be like, but what's it worth though? Is it really, Right,
but then that takes you down a whole nother avenue too, because then you start learning more about your passion project and how to make it better if you want to. If that's something you feel like, it might open up a whole new door. You might be the next big screenwriter. You might have so many stories inside you. You know what I mean? Right, and that might be a whole new. Listen, I'm in an off-Broadway show right now. This dude, I met him as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
He has written 3 stellar shows right now. Like, all of a sudden, and I'm cast in one of them. This is the most brilliant role I've ever had.
Wow.
And I say that without even blinking.
Wow. So that's amazing.
For him, you know what I mean? He's working on number 4 right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is so a time to venture into whatever comes into your heart.
Whatever you want. And you never know where it's going to take you.
Like, don't be like, I don't do that.
Right.
Do it. You can.
Do it.
And I told him, I've never written a script. I mean, I've started writing a script. I've written a spec script years ago that I still haven't finished. But me and my friend, so with this script, me and my friend, we're part of a show called Funkdafied, which was an online. It was a dance concert. Mm-hmm. It was a dance concert, and it was all about basically the birth of hip hop through the dance. It was this legendary Philly breaker, Rennie Harris, who's like, he is the guy who brought street dance to the theater.
Look at this. See, this shit, I'm already interested in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's, and we love it. It's a dope. Yeah, I'm up there singing. He plays drums and he's singing. And so it's all about the last bit of the 70s as the dancers ushered in the hip hop era, right? So taking not inspiration from it, but loving the show a lot, and both of us are purveyors of the funk, and we love the funk, and we abide by the one. So we decided to write our own tribute, our own ode to the funk, and that's what we're doing. So we're essentially writing a funk opera.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what it's
that.
going to be.
That's it. That's it right there. All right. Listen, man.
And
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I didn't think I was gonna be like this into writing a script, but now I'm like creating this whole world. I'm like in it. I'm like, sometimes I'll be writing for pages and pages, and then what's like for days I'll be like, I don't know what to do with it, and I'll be like, it's kind of hard to write dialogue.
That's all right. That's the process. That's the
Yeah,
process that all writers go to. And then what you do is, like, especially right now, you get actors who are starving for work right now to read your stuff. Do a live reading. This is how it starts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
30 pages and scenes unfinished.
Yep. Whatever.
All right, I'm gonna call you in a minute.
Yep. So you can hear how the process is going, and you get the feedback from them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that can help you along your way.
Okay.
I mean, you make sure you get that NDA, that non-disclosure agreement from them. But
yeah,
you know
right.
Never forget the legal part of that. You know what I'm saying?
You cannot share this with anybody.
Can't share it with anybody. That's right.
You know what's funny, man? I don't know if I should say this. I don't want to out you, but I was on a TV show. I was on Vinyl
right
a couple years ago, and they had to sign an NDA. They said you can't take any pictures on the set.
Yep.
And so I was abiding by it. I put my phone away. I wouldn't touch it. All the people there, everyone else in the band is like taking pictures, to getting together. Let's take the picture. I'm like, Are we supposed to? Did you sign it? Not. I was like, all right, well, whatever. I guess. I took one picture of myself.
That's funny. The one bit of advice that I've always gotten, I've always stuck by. No matter what job I'm on, I'm always taking a picture for myself. Always.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm taking a picture for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry if all the casting directors and everybody who's listening to this podcast. That's the truth. Somebody gave me that advice.
Right? Only in the dressing room.
Yep.
I don't take enough pictures. I need to take more pictures.
You have to document.
Like in that show Funkdafied, right? The keyboardist, man, that fool's all over Instagram, taking pictures and videos. He's getting all of us. Obviously, he's a keyboard player, so he can have one hand free. I can't really. I'm playing bass and I'm singing. I can't focus on anything else, so I can't get into playing. But still, it's like I can get pictures of the stage and the thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've never been that one who like stops like when you take a photo op. But I want to be because I've after a couple of years, after having done a couple gigs, over the couple of years and shared great experiences, I'm like, damn, I don't have any pictures to remember. So it's like there's a lot of stuff I just don't remember, and it's just gone.
I'm the same way. I'm not the one to take the pictures, but yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
You gotta do it because you're gonna thank yourself later.
Right.
Your future self will love that you took those pictures.
Exactly. One more question for you. What do you think is happening in the future? I mean, there's so much uncertainty. I know you're playing with the band right now and how you guys rehearse and all that kind of stuff. But what do you see happening once this is over? Will music be the same? Will the art be the same?
Once quarantine or COVID is over?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a
yeah. The New York music scene, anything, because a lot of some people are leaving New York. You know what I mean? Like what?
A lot of people in New York.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say that we need to do what you're doing right now and get our content online. Get all of our work to be live streamed or just documented in that way, because we got to make it work. We have to make it work. It's not safe to get together. People are doing it, and it's like whether that will come back in the future, it won't be 3 or 4 years, 5 years down the line. The way I see it, so we need to make sure we have some kind of way that we can have concerts online and still provide the concert experience or the festival experience.
You got it.
I think that will be. I really think that will be the new model. It's just is just having a whole bunch of concerts online. I don't know why Coachella didn't do it, because Coachella has live streamed their festival since 2010.
Right. Yeah.
So I was confused by that, but either way. As far as I also wasn't sure why I know a good amount of actors, and I wasn't sure why I didn't see any of them doing like virtual plays or virtual.
There have been. There have been.
Have there been? I'm
Yeah,
not deep
there've
in
been
it,
a
so
lot.
I'm ignorant.
There've been a lot of stuff. A lot of theaters have stepped up and put on shows, and some are most of them are free, some are paid.
But what I mean is with no audience. I mean, just film the actors, or have me, like I'm here and you're there, right? And I do my scene and you do your scene and put it together that way.
Yeah, I think that takes a little bit more, finagling, a little more technical stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
Well, listen, speaking of which, I just watched one 2 nights ago with the Labyrinth Theater here in New York. They did a series of 5 short plays, and they were filmed. There's like little short films almost, because they filmed them like, little vignettes, little 20-minute or 15-minute live theater pieces that each member wrote. You know what I mean? So people have been doing it. People are still doing the concerts. Yeah. I mean, it's out there. That's what I'm saying. Like this time, people have been very creative in what they're doing. And like you said, I'm probably a little deeper into the acting scene than you, but I see it. I watch it.
That's great. And I would love to see that. I would love to see plays online.
Right.
I would love to see concerts online. Obviously it's not the same. It's
not, but you have the experience.
You can still get I believe. I'm just going to say, I believe.
Yep.
You can still have the
Exactly.
Obviously, in the beginning, I could see how actors wouldn't want to get together in the same room or the same space, because you don't know who's been where, who's doing what, and it's not quite safe. But I really think there are ways. Like musicians, I will say this: the first thing, obviously, I'm a musician, so the first thing I saw was musicians. But there was a group on Facebook called "Steal This," where one person would just play some 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever,
right,
and just give it out, and someone would take that video and make a video of them playing along with it. And then I can show you there's a whole bunch of collaborations with people, in the panels and doing things, right? So it's very, 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 very possible and accessible, to work together remotely and virtually. Is it the ideal? Is what we want?
Obviously not.
But we got to make it work.
We have to make it work. Yep. We have to make it work. And if you can have a rehearsal, I have a rehearsal every week. I have 2 rehearsals a week, on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Yeah. You got to make it work.
It works.
Yeah.
It works. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does suck. What are you going to do?
What you going to do? Right? You just going to stop? No, man. No. We got to, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So what's going to happen?
Right.
What do you mean what's going to happen?
That's it. I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I mean, there's so much uncertainty. I mean, I'm sure the New York scene will bounce back. It has to. We're strong.
Eventually it will. Eventually it will be safe. There will be a vaccine. I'm not taking the beta vaccine. I'm going to wait till that vaccine is like 2, 3.0.
Right. Me too.
Before I take it.
Exactly.
And even then, even just because I take it doesn't mean everybody. There's so many anti-vaxxers.
Exactly.
That's the other thing is even when the government declares it safe, even when the doctors declare it safe, I don't think people are going to trust each other.
Right.
To be out. So this is going to be around for a
good while.
Yeah. Y'all getting cabin fever and going out and having your Halloween parties, which is stupid, in my opinion. But y'all better, stick around for the marathon, y'all.
That's right.
It's not a 2-week quarantine.
Exactly. It's not over yet.
It's not a 2020 quarantine. We're talking about we want 2020 to be over.
It's still going.
You better put on your pajamas and get cozy.
Exactly.
This is it.
I'm telling you, man.
This is it.
That's it. All right, man. I could talk to you all night, so I appreciate your time. Tell everybody how we can get in touch with you, how we can reach out to you if we want you to play in the music and all that stuff.
So I got a couple things going on. My personal Instagram is Boogeyman Productions, Boogie_man_productions. If you want to follow me there. I'm in a band called Black Licorice with the great, lovely singer Keita P, who you introduced me to at the OneMicNite.
That's right.
Open mic we have, and so you can find her at Keita P Music. Look for her everywhere, please. Everybody, look for Keita P Music on Spotify, on YouTube,
Keita P.
on Instagram. I'm also in a band called Civilians, and we are working on our second album. My roommate Tom, a guitar player and excellent engineer and mixer, is mixing it right now. You can follow us on Spotify and on Instagram at civilians.band. Yeah, that's about it. You can't get my Facebook. That's for my friends.
All right, man. There you have it. Make sure you reach out to him at Boogeyman Productions, Boogie_man_productions.
BOOGIE.
There you go. Drop him a line if you want to check out the music, or hit him up if you want him to play. You can follow us at OneMicNite. OneMicNite is spelled ONEMICNITE on all social media. You can follow me at Marcos Luis on everything, MARCOSLUIS. Thank you for joining me. You can also watch this video on our YouTube page at OneMicNite. Go there. Make sure you subscribe to that because you don't want to miss any of these episodes. And I thank you all for joining me for OneMicNite, the podcast with Marcos Luis. We're out.
Thank you so much, Marcos.
Yes, thank you.
Amen. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.